great to see you. Thanks for watching this video. Today I'd like to focus on a common challenge for adults with ADHD, particularly adults diagnosed later in life with ADHD, called masking or camouflaging, where we try to come off in a neurotypical way in society and end up masking and hiding some of our ADHD characteristics and trying to fit in a way that becomes very exhausting and challenging and draining. Before we get started today with our tapping, I'd like to share a brief couple words about tapping. EFT tapping is a mind-body technique that helps to reduce emotional distress and activation by calming our nervous system. It's evidence-based, which means we have a lot of research to say that this works, and it involves gently tapping on specific acupressure points on our face and upper body that run along the channels of meridians in our body where energy flows as we focus on thoughts, feelings, memories, and behaviors. So the tapping points send calming signals to our brain and our nervous system that are directly involved in the stress response. So it's very helpful, particularly for those of us with ADHD and trauma. And we also use mindful awareness during tapping and self-acceptance to acknowledge the challenges we're going through as a starting point before we can start to shift our mindset and our perspective, or even to strategy identification. So this mind-body technique is simple and effective and often works in just several minutes. So if you're not familiar with EFT tapping, I invite you to tap along today as we tap on masking and camouflaging ADHD symptoms. And let us begin. So please tap on the side of the hand. Please feel free to modify any word so that it works best for you and what feels right. Even though, you can just repeat after me, I work so hard to try to fit in and hide my ADHD symptoms. And it's exhausting. I completely and deeply accept myself. Even though, I'll go 2 more times, I work so hard to try to hide, mask, and fit in. To try to look like other people and act like other people. I deeply and completely acknowledge how much I've been carrying. Even though I work so hard to try to hide my ADHD symptoms, and it's exhausting and draining. I deeply and completely accept how much I've been carrying. Go to the top of the head. I'm constantly trying to pretend that I'm okay. Inside of the eyebrows, I try to act like it's all okay and I've got everything together. Outside of the eyes, I try to fit in and look like other people around me. Under the eyes, I try to hide the parts of me that feel insecure. Under the nose, I don't want to be judged. I try to show up early to everything so that I don't show up late. I try to sit still in meetings, just like everyone else, so that people can't see that I want to fidget. Feel free to add any of your own examples here, ways that you mask. I put on a face and mask every time I enter work. Close side of the body on the ribs. And I feel like I just break down emotionally when I leave. I don't even know all the ways that I'm masking my authentic self just to fit in inside of the eyebrows. And it takes so much energy to keep this facade up. Like I'm always acting, pretending to be someone I'm not. I'm exhausted from trying to seem normal. I don't even know what normal is anymore. I feel like my authentic self is disappearing to try to be accepted and fit in. I don't know who I am anymore. Sternum, I feel alone behind this mask. Side of the body. I've been masking to stay safe. Because I've been worried what would happen if people saw how disorganized I felt. It makes sense that I've learned to do this, to fit in and, frankly, keep my job. Maybe I'm masking in more places than just at work. I'm opening up my perspective to explore the different places and circumstances I might be masking my authentic self. This is overwhelming to think about. I wonder what it would take to acknowledge that I learned this to keep myself safe. Just let that sink in. You don't have to have an answer to that right now. Just notice whatever's coming up. What are the spaces where I feel authentically myself? What are circumstances and people who I feel safe not having to mask around? What would it take not to have to mask everywhere I go all the time? Just in places where I feel safe. can take my time with this process. I'm not in any rush. The more I unmask comfortably, the more I might feel connected to my authentic self. And when I'm connected to my authentic self, it would be easier to regulate. I am more than the person who masks. Opening myself to exploring with curiosity this person underneath the mask. Maybe I like to fidget. Maybe I like to say some things right when they pop into my head. Maybe my space is just a little more messy than other people's. And maybe that's okay. My differences are not moral failings or deficits. Learning and exploring how I can step into my authentic self in small ways. I might be surprised that I can be accepted for who I am more than I thought. I am honoring the strength and courage that it's taken to survive and keep me safe. I'm honoring this coping tool of masking that I've used to keep me safe. And I choose to find small ways to live more authentically. I'm allowed to take up space. I am deserving of attention from others. We'll shift to the side of the thumb. Maybe it's more safe than I realize to connect with my authentic self. I'm open to exploring who my authentic self is, next finger, and how this person functions best. Exploring with curiosity, we skip the middle finger, ring finger, we go to the pinky. Exploring with curiosity what this authentic version of myself likes and how it jives and grooves. And the more curiosity I bring to the process of safely unmasking, the more compassion and kindness I can have to my authentic self. And we'll take a deep breath in and out. Just check in with yourself. Notice whatever you're experiencing. Check in and see if you need to do some more tapping. You need to watch another tapping video, tap on something else. Just sit with your breath for a few minutes. Whatever you need, please make sure to give it to yourself. And until next time, keep tapping and be well.